Hello and welcome to Savva Talks Spurs. My name is Richard Savva. As some of you will have seen throughout the years, I've been quite active within the Spurs community, on podcasts, on live debate shows, going to games, seeing at the ground, etc., etc. And like many others, I love a great debate, and some might call me Marmite. So I thought I'd start my new channel, so I would be able to continue those debates. So this is going to be my first broadcast. I'm not doing a full-on podcast. I'm literally just going to give you a bit of an indication about what is my show going to be. There is also going to be a little bit about me talking about what I believe Tottenham Hotspur's top four hopes will be, and then as I grow my followers and go on more shows, we'll start getting more interactive into the show. So I'm not expecting many followers, but look, let me put it out there. Let's see what happens. So for me, where do Tottenham Hotspur stand at the moment? So I get a lot of heat for this, but for me, we are in a position now where if we do not finish fourth, I do believe that could be considered as failure. Now, I know a lot of people will have a go and they'll say, look where we were when Conte took over. However, I'm looking at the strength of this league. The Premier League gets talked about as this really strong league, and I feel like this is a myth. The Premier League is told to us that it's really, really strong by Sky Sports. It's told that it's the best football, it's the best defending, the best attacking, the best players. But unfortunately, I do not. I do not believe that to be the case. So at the end of the day, I look at it and I see it as Man City and Chelsea, Man City and Liverpool are fantastic teams. They're in the league of their own. I don't even think they're playing in the Champions League. I feel like they're playing in this universe all to themselves. They're the best two teams in Europe. They're the best two teams in England. They're the best two teams in the world. So I don't really see the Premier League as being this much better than any of the other leagues. I think that the Premiership's got the best two teams. Outside of that, I do feel like it's pretty weak. Now, let me circle that back to Tottenham Hotspur. So the reason I talk about that is in a league where Tottenham Hotspur are within 4 games of finishing top 4, and we play players like Emerson Royale, Ryan Sessegnon, Eric Dyer, Ben Davis, a declining Hugo Lloris, a very average Højbjerg. I truly believe that this is the best chance we've ever had of finishing top 4 since all those years ago when we were in there with Poch. So there might sound like there's a little bit of contradiction in there from me, but my point is this is the season to get it. Now, at the beginning of the season, I was one of those. I thought we would finish 6th under Nuno when the league began. Obviously, that wasn't the best appointment. It didn't go well at all, and Conte's had to come in and mop up. However, as the season's gone on and you see the state of Man United, the state of West Ham, the state of Wolves, the state of Leicester, and chuck us in there, I truly believe that this has to be the year to get top 4. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that with a manager like Conte at the helm that it's impossible to get top 4 if we don't get it this year. I don't think it's impossible to get it next year or the year after, but I do feel it's going to be a lot more difficult than this year. This, for me, has been the weakest season for a long time. Now let's look at it. Man City and Liverpool are going nowhere. They're going to be right up there again next season. They'll buy, they'll move a few on, they'll move a few in, and they'll both be challenging again. Chelsea remains to be seen. That they're going to get bought. They're going to buy players. They've got players to go back into the club as well, players that are out on loan. I think they'll be plenty fine for the top 4 next season. Then, I fail to believe, and tell me if I'm wrong. People will tell me in the comments, and no one's been rude so far. So well done me on my first 4 minutes without anyone being rude. I believe that Man United can't be worse next season. I'm not saying they'll be great, but they can't be worse, surely. Ten Hag will get a few players in. He'll have them. I'm not talking about challenging for the title, but he'll have them right up there in the top 4 race. Arsenal, if they finish top 4 this year, they will go and strengthen again. So I truly believe that they will be in the top 4 race next season. Leicester can't be worse. Newcastle are going to start spending some money. So I truly believe that this would be a massive miss if we don't make it this year. So do I think we deserve it? I don't think anyone deserves it, if I'm really, really honest. What I'd like to do is, look, as I said, this is just going to be my first sort of 15, 30 minutes, ease in, going to go live at the end of the week with Henry from Henry Wright TV, and we'll start building the fan base. And it'd be great if anyone hasn't subscribed, if you could, that would be great. And look, we'll take it from there. So look, if anyone has got any questions, I know some of my opinions are pretty controversial, somewhat Marmite, but please pop them into the feed and I will try and answer them. Antonio Conte, let's talk about him while I wait for a few questions to come in. Yes, sorry, just quickly, Stephanie, I did see that Sonny got Twitter. I also don't care. I saw that someone from Last Word on Spurs posted a poll as to how long do we think it will take Sonny to get 1 million followers. And I just thought, I don't know why anyone really cares. Let's talk about Antonio Conte. I'd love to hear from you guys and girls in the comments. Out of 10, what would you give him for his time at Spurs? Where, I want everyone to take everything into account. Where we were when he joined, the players he's brought in, where's where we are from, losing games like Mura and Middlesbrough, beating teams like Man City. Where do we feel that he is? I know there's that tendency to we want to just really ramp everything up and give him a 10 and all this, but for me, I would say a 7. I've not been really, really impressed with anything he's done. But I also can't be too contradictory. I don't believe that the players we have, there is too much you can do. Some of the football is really boring, but I'm hoping that's going to change when we start to get in some players that are hopefully his players. My concern, just before I come over to some of your comments, my concern, as I said yesterday when I was on Tottenham Away podcast, was it's not, can Conte do a good job for us over the years, right? The question for me is, will he be here for those years? If you give Conte 3-4 years and you give him 100 million a summer, I have no doubt whatsoever that we will that we will become a good team and will become a force. Do I think both of those things will happen? 1, I don't think he'll be here that long. 2, I don't believe that Daniel Levy will back any manager with proper funding. And I don't mean having to sell 4 players to buy 5 players in and we just go on this merry-go-round. So interested to hear your thoughts on that. Does anyone truly, truly believe that Antonio Conte is going to be here for 2 to 3 years? He never has, and he's been at much better clubs than Tottenham Hotspur. So I'm just keen to find out, what do we all make of that situation? Do we believe he's going to be here? Do we believe he's not? I don't know. I really don't know. I think a lot of it depends on whether we get top 4. But then the other half of me, and I think you've always got to look at 2 sides of a story. Where would he go? Where does he go? Does he go to PSG? Is that a good move for a manager like Conte? Does anyone go there and grow their stature, or do they just make it worse? I'd really like to hear your thoughts. So let me see if we've got a few questions and stuff. So I see there's a few people that have come over from Henry's site that normally troll me. So Matt Brenguzzi, yes, hi Matt, how are you? Levy in people, of course, are welcome. Look, for me, me being a Levy out person, it doesn't really mean anything if I've not got Levy in people to debate it with, right? So each to their own. yes, I push my views hard. Yes, I'm passionate about my views, but that doesn't mean that I don't believe that everyone's got a right to their opinion, contrary to belief. Um, Big up to the Big Boss Man. Great name. Remember the Big Boss Man being a wrestler. Um, let's have a look. So Camille El Kadiri, isn't fourth completely in Arsenal's hands as Spurs play Liverpool? I mean, look, Arsenal win their 4 games, they win it. I can't see them winning their 4 games. So I think a lot is going to come down to what do we do? What do we do? Can we snatch anything at Liverpool? I think snatch something at Liverpool, it's back with us. Don't, and it's not. Thank you very much. The nicest thing anyone said to me for a while. So finally, Savva is back. Yes, we'll wait and see how long until somebody threatens me in the comments. Big Boss Man saying, which league is strongest? I don't think it's so much about which league is the strongest. I just don't believe that there's a standout league. I believe there is a standout 2 teams. But look, you can't say Madrid are not a strong team. They're winning their league again. They looked good against City in patches. So we'll see. Son over Salah. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of Heung-min Son fans because of my opinions of him. So we're going to beat Liverpool. Villarreal opened them up in the first half. I think they did. I think that's the worst I've seen Liverpool play this season. Can we open them up? Have we got that intensity that Villarreal showed? I'm not sure we do. Plus, it's at Anfield. So I'd love to think that we could, but I just can't see it. Sorry if that's pessimistic. Reliable reports saying we're going to change our transfer policy and sign more experienced players. So here's my thing. So Son over Salah. My big question to you is, who are these reliable reports? Because I hear this every window that tier 1 reports say this and this source says that, and we're going to sign these players and blah, 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 blah. No one really knows anything. Let's wait till the summer. Let's see who we get. Knowing Daniel Levy, we know how this club will operate. John Kelleher, what is your name, please? Is Saga nickname? Sorry, Savva prescriptive text. No, Savva is my surname. Do you think Villarreal gave a blueprint to beat Liverpool? Difficult to say, Dtrex Kane. I mean, if you're looking at the first half tonight, I thought they were excellent, weren't they? They put it up them. They stuck it. They stuck into every tackle. They were hard to get through. But ultimately, I just felt like they run out of steam. So can we do that? I'm not so sure. But let's see. So Son over Salah at 8, I'm guessing for Conte. I mean, to take us from Nuno to challenging for top 4 is unreal. Yeah, I get that, but I also believe that it didn't take a lot because the league is really, really poor. In seasons gone by, this sort of form wouldn't have seen us top 4. But here we go, Stephanie. What is the difference between Mourinho here and Conte? For me, I think a lot of it is perception. I think Mourinho was Marmite, right? Mourinho was like the way I am on social media, on YouTube, etc. Mourinho's got very strong opinions. Mourinho had history with hating Tottenham Hotspur, so to speak, and it was always inevitable it wasn't going to work. I wanted him at the time. I'm not making any qualms about that. It would have been interesting to see what would have happened had he have been backed. And I don't mean with Joe Rodon and Gedson and Bergwijn. I mean, had he have been backed. But look, stay true to my word. We could say that about multiple managers, couldn't we? So Dtrex Kane, for me, Conte gets 7 because he made players play better, but we got kicked out of 3 competitions. Yeah, that's the disappointing thing for me, is that we've gone out of competitions under him. Chelsea, are better than us, but we went out with a complete whimper over 2 games. Middlesbrough was awful. And Moura, I mean, what can you do? I mean, that's just a terrible result, isn't it? So that's the swings and roundabouts. Manan Patel, well said about teams like Man U strengthening. The truth is that already have a squad to compete for top 4, but not the manager. I mean, I think that the interesting thing about that is lots of people were talking about Man U winning the title this season. If you remember, back in back in August when they signed Ronaldo and Varane and Sancho, etc. I mean, people were talking about them winning the league, and it was going to be between them and Liverpool and City and Chelsea in this big four-way, and it's just not turned out that way. So I think they've got a lot of work to do, Man United. Son over Salah, we were top of the league after 3 games. Yep. I'm not sure what that's a point to, but yes, we were. Three of the hardest watches I've ever seen, but yes, we were correct. Conte says 7 out of 10. I agree with you. I've been reading the reports. I'm not sure which reports. I tend not to read a lot of reports because I think there's so many people reporting that I just don't know what to believe anymore. And most of them are always wrong. 6 out of 10 for Chelsea tax. Stephanie, I'm liking you more and more. That's funny. I like that. Let's have a look. So this guy lost 4 times in a row to Chelsea. Yeah. Okay, I see what you're doing here. Manan, Conte needs a lot more players to improve. Yeah, I'm not optimistic this will happen. Do you agree? Look, I've said this about how many managers for the last 20 years. The number of times when Spurs fans have said, right, this summer, we're going for it. This is our year. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And you know what? I'm never disappointed at the end of the window because it's what we do. So it would be nice to get to the end of the window and think, yeah, that was good. I really enjoyed that window. But we'll see. And a lot of that depends on Champions League, right? Dietrich Kane, Savva, honestly, I feel like Conte wants to stay and build something big at Spurs. Might be the biggest accomplishment if it works on his CV. Look, there is that school of thought, right? There really is that school of thought. If Conte can stay, turn us into winners, I mean, that cements a legacy better than going to an Inter Milan and winning a title. But does he want to do that? I really hope you're right. I really do hope you're right, because contrary to belief, I don't have a problem with Conte. I just think with any manager, I call it as I see it. I don't blow smoke up people's backsides just because of their name. Mark Scrumpy Cousins, big up Savva. Newcastle will beat them and hopefully Everton needs something last game. He's hoping. Mark, he's hoping. It's just they just keep doing it. They just keep doing it, don't they? So we'll see. We will see. Steve Webb, I think he is gone. If he doesn't get funds, I'm worried that Levy won't back him. Who's next? Steve, I think for me, this is the biggest concern for lots of Spurs fans, right? We've seen managers come and go, so that's not an issue. We know that. But the problem is now you've had serial winning manager Jose Mourinho. You've had up and coming one of the best managers in the world, Pochettino, best managers, right? You've had Antonio Conte, who people were telling was one of the top 3 managers in the world. If any of them don't work, where do we go from there? Do you go to Potter? Do you go to Parker? Is it Gerrard? Who is it? I don't know. I don't know what we do from there. I don't know who. You guys tell me in the comments. Son over Salah, Liverpool can be got at, though. I truly believe with Son's clinical finishing at the moment, we can. I mean, yeah, Son's clinical right now. For me, it's not about his finishing. It's about who's getting the ball to him and will we have enough of the ball. As I've said for many, 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 many years, we have no creativity. Since Christian Eriksen left this club, we've had no creativity. Big yourself up, Will Stewart. If you don't know Will Stewart, please go and follow him. I mean, Will and I see eye to eye on a lot of stuff, and we disagree on a lot of stuff, which makes it interesting. But I was a Jose fan, never was a Jose out stan. Yeah, I wasn't Jose out. I feel that Conte will probably end up going the same way as that, but we'll see. We'll see. Jose's wash took us to our lowest league finish in about 12 years. People forget that. Yeah, listen, yes, but context needs to be provided. Jose Mourinho took over a team that couldn't win a game for love nor money under Pochettino. So he wasn't taking over a happy group of players. He immediately lost Christian Eriksen as well. So we had no creativity. And I think it was a huge shock. So I think we need to be really careful when we talk about that. But yes. Will Stewart, THSC ranks now saying his Twitter, you have somewhere. Jesus Christ. Let's have a look. Where do you genuinely see Spurs in 5 years' time with City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Newcastle with huge investment, Man United with Ten Hag, with Levy being tight? Dave, I'm going to say the same thing to you that I said 5 years ago, that I said 10 years ago, that I said 20 years ago. If Spurs are still under ENIC and Levy in 5 years' time, we will be in exactly the same position or lower, because we won't have Kane or Son, and we will not be buying players good enough to take over from them two. And those two are Tottenham Hotspur. So as much as people think I hate Son, I don't. Those two are Tottenham Hotspur. So what do I think in 5 years? I think exactly the same, unless something miraculous happens and we start seeing some money invested into the club. Son over Salah, here you go. You have to admit it feels different under Conte. There's a new belief. I'll be honest, Son over Salah, I don't feel any different. For me, the football is painful. Nothing's changed on that regard. At the moment, for me, what I'm seeing is the same thing. It's Kane to Son, Son to Kane, Kane to Son, Son to Kane. I'm not seeing anything that's making me think it's different. Maybe the aura is different from fans because of Conte, but what I'm seeing on the pitch isn't different. I'm sorry if that is negative. I don't really enjoy the games this season. I don't think there's too many games where you could say, oh, that was a good watch. So, look, do you blame the players for us being outside top four? Kane has been bang average for the majority of the season. Conte can't make the players score goals or concede them. It's always the chicken and the egg, isn't it? Do I blame the players? Of course I blame the players. The players aren't good enough. So then again, do I blame them? Not really, because they're not good enough. However, what I would say is, Conte has had Kane and Son. So to get top four, or to not get top four above an Arsenal team that have Eddie Nketiah and Lacazette as their forwards, who I believe have got 4 league goals between them all season, would be disastrous for me. It'd be absolutely disastrous. First, so we'll probably get Poch back if Conte left. I don't want Poch back. Just me. I don't want him back. If he comes back, why is he coming back? Nothing's changed since he left. The whole point was he was going to come back when he had more experience, when we were in a better place, and neither of those things have happened. So not for me. I feel it's too soon, and ideally, I don't really want to go back to him, if I'm honest. Liverpool's high line could benefit players like Son. Yeah, but I'm sure they're intelligent enough, they'll pick that up, but hopefully. What's Manon said? Even if we do get the Champions League, what are we going to do? We're not going to win it. We did this under Poch for years. We achieved nothing against the best teams in Europe. Yeah, Manon, I've seen a few fans talk about they don't want their club. I'm not saying you said this, but that they don't want their club to go into Champions League because there's no point because we can't win it. But look, the way I see it is you've got to get back in there, right? You're not going to win the Champions League. That's cool. You can't expect to go straight in and win the Champions League. Look at teams like Liverpool and City. City can't even win the Champions League. Well, they might this year, but you've got to pinch of salt, mate. Pinch of salt. You can't expect to win it. You've just got to hope for a bit of progression. Big yourself up, Will. Big yourself up. Daryl, hello, Daryl. Savva, if when Conte goes, are we going to persist with defensive managers? The last 3, would a manager style like Lopetegui 4-3-3 attacking be better? Or we got look, this is the double-edged sword, isn't it? I'm not going to be one of these fans who talks about the Tottenham DNA because, I mean, first of all, the Tottenham DNA, I don't think it exists. Second of all, when we played the Tottenham DNA, what did we do? Did we achieve anything? Not really. I would like to see if Conte goes, and it's the if. I would like to see someone who plays a little bit more on the front foot. But again, if that manager comes in, that manager needs to get the players that can play on the front foot. So I don't think it matters what formation or how defensively we play. We've got to bring in players that can play to the manager's needs. My first said our team ain't Champions League quality. If we get it, we need 5 or 6 top players. Yeah, true. That could be said of a lot of people. Isn't it just like us to replace Eriksen with Eriksen? Mark, it is. I mean, look, I'm in two minds about the whole Christian Eriksen bringing him back or not debate. Look, if we had an owner that went out and would buy a Coutinho, a Maddison, yeah, players like that, I would turn around and go, yeah, don't bring Ericsson back. But the facts are we've got a squad with zero creativity. I don't think we've got a creative bone in anyone's body outside of Kane and Son, right? So there's no midfielder with creativity, and Ericsson will be on a free. Now, when I'm watching him for Brentford, everything goes through him. His passing's brilliant. Would I take him back? I think at this stage I would. However, if the chairman wants to go out and spend money on a top playmaker that isn't Ericsson, I'm all for that as well. Thank you. Got to get looking forward to more content from Savva. Oh, I'm glad you are. Most wouldn't be. Mourinho is a dinosaur playing fossil football. He was finished at the top level. He should have been sacked even earlier than he was. I mean, okay. I mean, if we're saying that, then I don't see a lot of difference in the football we're playing now under Conte, if I'm honest. And, you know, over his 18, 19 or 20 months, whatever it was, Jose Mourinho would have been fourth in the league. So it wasn't that terrible. And he was the one that gave us the great Kane-Son combination. So I just think we jump on bandwagons. He's not a dinosaur. That's ridiculous. He's still, you know, he's winning things a couple of years ago. What does that mean then if Conte doesn't win anything this year or next year? Is he a dinosaur? I think it's all relative. Evening to Diego from Diego Palace. Okay, hello, everyone, welcome. Let's have a look. Son over Salah has said so did Conte though. He took over a team bottom on pretty much every single stat, challenging for fourth. Remember, this is the first time Conte has taken over mid-season. Yeah, he did, but also as I said again, this is a very weak league. It's not taken a lot to get us back to top four. So for me, he's done well. He's done a good job. There's no going away from that. I just don't think it's this amazing job that everyone thinks. Gets us top four. I think he's done a brilliant job. Full ball. Hello, mate. What are your thoughts on Paratici? Oh, God, here we go. This is this one. I'm not too convinced. Brought in Emerson and Gill, but he also brought in Romero and Kulo. What would I say about Paratici? I would say very much Marmite for me, the way I am. I would say very much Marmite. So far, his only good signings have been players that he has bought previously, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But what we want to see is some gems from somewhere else. We want to see some players that he doesn't know. And those players we've seen so far have been Galini, Hill, Emerson Royale, and Papa Sarr. It doesn't really fill me with much hope, but he's only just joined. Let's see what he does this summer. Let's see what him and Conte by then have been here a long time. Let's see what they do. So never said Poch is the GOAT, but it ain't time. I mean, yeah, look, I'll be honest. One thing you're never going to hear me say on my show, and apologies if this offends anyone, is GOAT. I mean, someone tell me, look, again, this is how little I know. Is it greatest of all time? Is that what it means? Someone can tell me. If that is what it means, then this is not a winner. This is not a man that wins. So no. Yeah, 100% agree. No Poch back. I agree, Will. Let's have a look. OB, would you take James Tarkowski on a free from Burnley? I know it's Burnley, but I think absolutely. I think when Spurs fans talk about who they would and wouldn't have, I think sometimes what we forget is we just need some really solid squad players, and we need to build a squad, not an 11. For me, what I would say, people, and let me know if some might make me right, some might make me wrong. What I believe is when we had that really good 11 under Poch, all of our fans spent so long saying things like, but why would so-and-so come and sit on a bench? And we don't need to buy him because he won't get in above the Tottenham or Ericsson or Ali. This is the thing. You've got to have some squad. And James Tarkowski, for me, is a better centre-back than everyone at our club other than Christian Romero. So I would take Tarkowski for sure. I think it's a no-brainer as I'd have him as one of my 4 or 5 centre-back options. Henry, thank you very much, mate. Listen, you helped me get a few of these things sorted. So big up. Have a safe flight. I know you're about to fly back to the UK, and I'll be on your stream tomorrow night. I would take Ericsson. It's a no-brainer. I mean, look, on a free, it's a no-brainer. Even at 15, 20 million, Can Spurs buy a better playmaker or player of Eriksen's quality for 20 million or less? I'll throw that out to you lot. Eriksen's still balling. Oh, Son over Salah. I think we're going to get on and not get on at the same time, just because you say things like balling and go. I don't use those terms, but Eriksen's still playing good football. James Hunter. Endless talk of quality player signing. Where's the money coming from, Savva? Oh no, we've got an Enoch fan. Player sales. We will owe 80 million for Romero and Kulu to make deals permanent. James, I'll tell you the same thing I've told people for the last 5-10 years. That's not my job. Right. At the end of the day, when you look at the money we have wasted, because what we do is we bring in volume of players rather than less number of players with quality. Last summer, for example, we spent 15 million on Papa Sarr, 25 million on Brian Hill, and 30 million on Emerson Royale. Now, off the top of my head, what's that? Nearly 70, 80 million. You could have bought 2 really good 40 million pound players for those 4. So it's not no one's saying you have to go and break the bank. That's never been said. No one's saying you have to buy Mbappe or Haaland or anything like that. But make the signing sensible. Buy some solid pros. Stop wasting our money on these terrible footballers. Mahfouz. Eriksen was quality yesterday. He's still got it. Some of the passes and crossing he was making was quality. Yeah, it was. Every time I watch it, he looks good. For me, I think the big thing was about fitness and how would he cope with his heart and all of that. But he looks like he's done really well. So fair play to him. And he looks like he's got a new lease for football. And that's what we need, right? And whenever I watch Brentford, he's not even playing in that playmaker role. He's dropping really deep and creating from deeper. So he's not getting the assist, but he's starting the attacks off. And I don't think we've got players like that. Diego C. Palace, with Conte taking your club to the Champions League, don't say it yet. I expect Levy to provide a better transfer window for the manager, but I could be wrong. Diego, let me tell you something. I've expected this many a year. I've expected it. We had 4 years in a row in the Champions League and he never, ever backed the manager. So I'm not really expecting it, but I'm still waiting for the day where I can come on here and go, thank you, Daniel Levy, for doing your job properly. That's what I'm waiting for. Let's see. Go get a 1. Sav isn't saying we're going to spend the money. He's saying we need to, but we won't. Big difference. Thank you. Absolutely. Mahfouz, what are you saying? It's got to a point where Jose football got horrible. Yeah, it seemed like he lost the dressing room and the players didn't really play for him. Look, I'm not disagreeing with that. I think the football was horrible then. I actually think the football is quite horrible now. A lot of that is to do with the players that each manager has to play with. As you've seen down the years, you give Jose Mourinho and Conte quality players, they're winners. Madame Patel, what are your predictions for the next 2 games? Liverpool, I think they will beat us 3-1, 4-1. I just can't see us competing with them. I think they'll be buzzing after tonight. I think at Anfield, under the lights, Saturday night, 4 games to go and they can win the league. I can't see them slipping up to us. And I really think they'll outnumber us in the midfield. Again, I caveat everything I say, and I have for years with, I hope I'm wrong. Bob's Bird TV. Yeah, hopefully everyone is enjoying just answering the questions. I feel like on a lot of podcasts, people don't answer enough questions, and I feel like it's good to. And I think, when I'm in the comments, I want people to answer. And thank you. We got to 30 people, so I wasn't expecting that at all. I was expecting no one, to be honest. Bob's Bird TV, big up, buddy. I'm still surprised some of the fan base wonder where we'll get our money from to spend. We're not paupers. The worry shouldn't, if we spend, it's how we spend it. Welcome back. Bob Spur, thank you very much, and thank you for your private message earlier. I don't get this narrative either, this narrative that there's no money at Tottenham Hotspur, but yet we can go and build golf courses for fun. Yeah, we've got money. We've got money. Come on. We've got money. Let's have a look. Paratici bought Romero at Juve. I'm not upset he went back for him. No one is. No one's upset with that. I'm just saying the big thing for me will be let's see what he does when it's not players he knows. It's all well and good going to Juventus, but let's see what he does without that. Quick question for everyone in the thing in the chat: does anyone else think that we'll sign anyone that's not from Italy this summer? Just asking for a friend. Yeah, Mafuz, I'm judging Paratici this summer. Yep, I have a feeling we are going to sign players from the Serie A. Okay, ties in nicely what I just said. We've already signed Galini, Benzancourt, and Kulusevski and Romero from that league. Yeah, I'm seeing a trend. I'm seeing a trend. Big up Savva. Hello, PO Block. Hello, my friends. Tarkowski is a solid pro. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think we turn our noses up at players like that, but welcome signings like Joe Rodon and Emerson Royale. So I'd take him. He knows the Premier League inside out, and he just loves defending, right? Love a player that just loves defending. And then apart from the counter-attacking football, is there anything positive in our style of football? Your honest thoughts, and is it sustainable? I mean, first of all, I do not hope, I hope it's not sustainable. I do find it really boring because most of the time we're not in games until we have a counter-attack, and that's fine. But it's not fun to watch, is it? It's not what people are paying the most expensive in the league to watch. But it's a work in progress. We'll give it time. And the big question, will Conte be here to oversee that? Mark Scrumpy Cousins, there are several positions that need upgrades, but players like Darren Davis are still needed for depth. Mark, whilst I disagree with the first part in terms of Darren Davis, I think they've been here too long. I think they're part of that culture at the club now of not winning. They've been here 7-8 years. But you are right. There are several positions that need upgrading. The goalie, right wing back, left wing back, centre back, centre mids, forwards, wing. I think it all does. I think every single position in this squad needs an overhaul. Yes, there's 4 or 5, the Kanes, the Sons, the Romeros, but you've got to get more players in those positions. Stephanie, I'd much rather have Levy than an oil merchant. Success, but then capitulation. I mean, Stephanie, let's be really, really honest. Let's ask ourselves the question: would you? If you ask Chelsea fans now, capitulation, they've just won like 28 major trophies in 24 years or some ridiculous stat. So no, I mean, if an oil merchant came and took Spurs over, you wouldn't like it. Let's be honest. Just be honest about it. You wouldn't like it if we started signing world-class players. I don't believe you. Kostic, good player. Ericsson on free, Dybala on a free, De Vries for 15, Basuma, another right back. I mean, look, yeah, we can all put wish lists of players. It's just about whether or not we actually want to go and do that. Yeah, I mean, again, I hear this excuse all the time. We were building a stadium, to be fair. I think that will change now. I'm still waiting for it to change. The stadium was built years ago, and I'm still seeing these awful windows where we keep buying really mediocre players. Miracle Mile, hello. Glad you started your own show. Great football knowledge. Looking forward to your content, Savva. Thank you very much. Oh, it's all very positive. Someone say something nasty. I need some bite. I need some bite in there. Ian, I remember you from another show. I'm not sure where. Maybe it was mine. But hi, guys. I'm a Darlington FC fan. We were made bankrupt in 2011 and reformed in 12. Demoted 4 leagues. We are currently a fan-owned National League club. We've had 3 promotions to date. I guess the point is there that we can't really complain as Tottenham fans. But look, good luck to you. Good luck to whatever's going on over at Darlington. Thank you very much for the subscription. Really appreciate it. I want to get those numbers up quickly, get back to where I was. I had like 10,000 subscribers this time last year and then stopped the show. So a bit gutted really, but we'll get back there, guys. We'll get back there. The difference is Conte still has the aura about him where players will run through brick walls for him. I didn't see very much of that against Brighton or Brentford or Moura or Middlesbrough or Wolves or Southampton. So I'm going to reserve judgment on that. Let's see if they're doing that when we haven't strengthened. Yes, I'm not even going to attempt this name. Big up Savva like a duck to water. Thank you very much. I try my best. Let's have a look. The last player we signed from the league was Højbjerg, I think. Possibly. I can't even think now. We don't tend to buy Premier League proven players, do we? But I'd like to see it. Will, better Italy than Spain and France. I mean, look, there's been some quality players that have come over from Spain. And there's good players in France, but we just tend to go for the wrong ones. I'd like to see us get some players from the Premier League as well as players from other leagues. And that's what I want to see. What's Paratici's knowledge of this country? In regards to the Chelsea thing, I'd take one bloody trophy, let alone 28. Right. This is where I think we get a lot of fans who want to constantly say, oh, oil money. I don't see an unhappy Man City fan. Right. Chelsea fans have had it brilliant for 20 odd years. So I honestly believe that how many Spurs fans, right? If the Man City owner decided to buy us, how many Spurs fans are going to sit there and go, right, I'm not going anymore. We're going to buy world-class players. I'm not doing it. Come on, guys. Let's be really, really honest here. We've won one trophy in 21 years and we haven't won an FA Cup for 31 years. Bob, I can always count on you. Piss off, Savva. There you go. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not used to the niceness, but it is only my first feed. Big up, Savva. Who would you sign as a backup goalkeeper to Loris for next season after Galini is definitely not signing? Oh, God, let's hope he doesn't sign. He's dreadful. I mean, first and foremost, let me just say, I would have moved Lloris on. I know it's not happening, but I would have moved him on and gone for something fresh. However, I acknowledge there are lots of areas on the pitch that probably need a lot more, a lot more strengthening a lot more than the goalkeeper. Sam Johnston, English, free. What you don't want to be doing is using a foreign spot and spending a lot of money on your sub-keeper. So maybe someone like that. If anyone's got any other suggestions of English goalkeepers you take. Heavily disagree with Stephanie. I would absolutely love an oil merchant owner. Imagine having the ability to sign world-class players and actually winning trophies. I mean, look, the thing is, I'm not craving an oil owner. I mean, ideally, what I want is for our owners to just show a bit of ambition. But if an oil owner, so to speak, does come in, surely you're turning around and saying, God, we're about to sign these world-class players. Would you really not want to play like Man City? Would you really not want to see Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne? Would you really not want to see Spurs linked with Erling Haaland? I think you've got to, do we beat Arsenal? I think we beat Arsenal. I think Arsenal haven't got goal power. I think we beat them. It's about the other games for me. I think that game we win. It's the other games. Thoughts on Chelsea being rent boys everywhere they go? Not going to answer that. The atmosphere will be electric. Yes, it will be electric. I think it will be the best. I think it will be the best atmosphere since probably the Man City Champions League game. I don't think whenever I've been, the atmosphere has never been that good again. So look, can't believe Savva Henry wanted Emery over Poch. I think you saw what kind of coach Emery is. He lost the game because he was too scared, sat back, inviting pressure. Poch would never do that. So first of all, Matt, there's a few things here. When you say Savva wanted Emery over Poch, I don't want either of them at Spurs. I just think Emery's a much better manager than Poch. And I think the fact that he's won 4 Europa Leagues, got to a Champions League semi-final with a team full of Spurs rejects, and got to another Europa League final, only losing to Chelsea, shows you that. So when you're saying Poch would never do that, I mean, some of Poch's football at the end of his tenure was that. And I remember in the Champions League final, we were dreadful. So, we do this a lot. We belittle managers who are successful. We belittle players who are successful, but we will back ours to the hilt. And, there's some credence in that, but not for me. Poch for me did well, but that's it. Thank you, Brian. Nice to see me streaming. Thank you. I think so as well. Winning trophies from spending loads surely would leave a bad taste in your mouth. Liverpool have done it the proper way. Have they? Let's talk about this, right? What proper way? They've spent a shed load of money. Let's talk about this. Every club, Spurs spend a lot of money. Every club spends a lot of money. I don't get this idea that like Liverpool have got to where they are without spending money. I mean, their goalkeeper was 70 million. Van Dijk was 75 million. Keita was like 50 million. Yeah, Jota, Diaz was 50 million. Salah. These weren't all free transfers. We'll know within the first few weeks in the summer how much influence Paratici has. Yeah, I tell you what, I want to see Bob Spur in the first part of the window is some signings early on. That's what, again, in January we're all sitting there. We know you need a wing backs, and we need some more attackers, and then we sign 2 players on the last day of the window. Let's hope that let's hope we don't do that again. Dean Henderson as a backup for Lloris. I'll be honest. I think if Dean Henderson came to the club, I'd want him as number 1. Sorry, just me. Anyone agree? Disagree with that? Les Adams, Savva, who would you want to sign for wing backs? I'd definitely take Kostic at Frankfurt. I'd take, for one, I'd want 2 new right wing backs. I'd take Jed Spencer's as backup. Who would I take? To be honest, I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know. Wasn't prepared for that question. There's lots of players. I'm sure they'll come to me in a minute and I'll just blurt them out. But all I know is that if Emerson Royal is the benchmark, then we've all got a chance of being Premier League footballers. Miracle Mar, I think we give you a good game at your place and take the win. We'll see. It's all very tight. So we need to be realistic about strengthening. We need 2 wing backs, another central defender, 2 more creative midfielders. It might be too much. Look, let's be honest, Manan, right? When we'll sit here and go, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 12. No one's saying it's going to be over one window. But the problem is, how long do we keep saying that for? Because there's been many windows that we're not strengthening. And they count. So we can't say it won't be fixed in one window. We've just had 2 that one was okay and the other was poor. And then the 2 before that were poor and the 2 before that. So of course it takes more than one window, but we can't reset every single time. It's got to carry over. Mafouz, Liverpool sell players to buy. They sold Coutinho for 140 million. Yeah, listen, I'm not saying they didn't. But let me put this to you, Mafouz. And I'm not saying I would have or wouldn't have done this. At that time that Liverpool did that, we could have sold Dele Alli, who was at his peak, for 100 odd million, and Eriksen at his peak for 100 odd million. If Spurs had done that, yeah, fans would have lost their mind and we wouldn't have trusted the owners to rebuild at that time. Just putting that out there. Son of a Salah, listen to Simon Jordan on TalkSport talk so much sense about fans screaming for owners to go until there is a person offers the money. It's all just unnecessary noise. Listen, Son of a Salah, do you know what? I'm about to completely ruin myself here. I agree with you. I love listening to Simon Jordan. I get it. I'm not screaming for them to go. I just would like them to. There is no alternative. You're right. But that is why, and this is where when people think, oh, you just want ENIC out, I would like us to be bought by someone else that wants success on the pitch. Do I think it's going to happen? No. But because of that, that's why I don't think there'll be any success and why we haven't had any for 20 years. So, yeah, I agree with you. But as we've just seen, if they put it up for sale, Chelsea had like 15 people bidding 3 billion for them. Someone would buy Spurs with that stadium. So we'll see. If you could only sell 2 wing backs of the current 4, which ones would they be? Emerson Royal, without a shadow of a doubt, the worst player I've ever seen in a Spurs shirt. He is dreadful. The other one will be Ryan Sessegnon, another really poor footballer. Sorry, I know people are going to jump in and defend him. He's very poor. I don't know what he does. I don't know if he's good at defending, attacking. I don't know if he can. I just don't really know what he is. I agree on Henderson. Yeah. Hypothetical. If Chelsea, guys, we've got 10 minutes left, by the way, so get in any questions now. Hypothetical. If Chelsea have a fire sale, who would you take, James or Mount? I mean, if Chelsea had a fire sale, I would take Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I'm just thinking realistic, who we could afford. The one I would want from them, first and foremost, over everyone else, and people will laugh at me, Conor Gallagher. I think that boy is quality. When our fans talk about Skip, look at Conor Gallagher. That is who I would love in our midfield. Other than that, look, let's be honest, you take a lot of those Chelsea players, wouldn't you? I think they all walk in. Let's see. I do agree that Laura should move on, but it's difficult to find a decent goalkeeper. Yep, I would get that young English goalkeeper, Etienne Green from St. Etienne. I'd take Henderson over Luis. Yeah, don't know a lot. I've heard about Etienne Green. I don't know a lot about him, so I'll reserve judgment. I don't want to be one of those people who just says yes when I don't know. Mahfouz, Lamptey as right wing back would be a good signing. Lamptey, for me, I like Lamptey. I don't know whether he's powerful enough. Now, I've got nothing against small players. I just don't know whether he's that dynamic wing back. However, he's better than anything we've got. So if he was the best option, I would take him. Poch nearly took us to the promised land and yes, should have been backed, but we also went God knows how long without an away win and record number of defeats in a calendar year. Apparently, though, Bob, you're not allowed to say this. This gets overlooked by everybody. And my point is, had Jose have had that year that Poch had, there would have been effigies, wasn't there? There would have been effigies of Jose burning, right? But Poch seemed to get away with it. I don't know why, but, you know, he did nearly take us there, but he just didn't quite get us there. What number 10 would you sign? For me, I would sign Coutinho. I think he's a wonderful footballer. You don't play for Bayern Munich, Barcelona, you know, Inter Milan, Liverpool, if you're not a top player. And some of his passing I've seen for Villa, some of his through balls. Can you imagine Kane and Son on the end of them? And it might actually allow us to have Harry Kane play up front and not dropping deep. Other than that, I like James Maddison. I think he's a really good number 10. I think he's got that bit of nasty in him as well that you need, that attitude. That I'd take him. He scores goals and he assists as well. For right wing back, I'd take Stephen Carr. Stephen Carr. Now, that's when we have proper fullbacks, right? Players like Stephen Carr, Justin Edinburgh. Oof, give me them over our lot. Let's have a look just quickly. Going to do 8 more minutes, but of course, there's a bigger picture. Enoch, of course. Enoch, all roads lead back to Enoch. Diego Crystal Palace, with Fabio Paratici as your director of football, what 1 to 2 year plan do you think he could introduce given 11 years experience from Juventus? I don't know. I think that's what we all want to see. What is the plan? That's got to be the first thing, right? What is the plan? How long is he going to be there? So let's see. I'll answer that in the summer when we start buying players. No, Liverpool became a powerhouse when they sold Coutinho and bought Van Dijk and Alisson. Okay, but how many players have they bought subsequently? They haven't sold anyone since then for massive money, and they're still spending money. Yeah? They've got 5 forwards. Yeah, Keita, Fabinho, Thiago. All of these players cost money. Konate. Yeah, these players all cost money. Diaz, everyone's making it out like they've not spent. Every club spends. They've got Liverpool clearly have a smart people running the club, and Spurs. Yeah, of course they do. I'm not saying Liverpool haven't done well. Liverpool have done phenomenally well. That's how you run a football club, but they also do put some money in. Let's have a look. Teams like Dortmund, Bayern, Barca are already making signings. It'd be nice if Spurs sign a few top players before the window's open. I think that's the big thing for me is I said to myself, and I said to anyone who would listen to me, which is not many people, but if we don't sign many in the January window, it will be nice to at least have some of these free transfers on pre-contracts. Not seen any of them either. You know, we just don't seem to move quickly because Levy will want to play the game. He'll want to play the game. He loves playing the game. No, you're spot on, Savva. Those are the 2 that need to go first. Oh, of course. Yeah, there's Royal and Sessegnon, of course. T.O. Tibbs, yes, Savva is back. Who is this Savva anyway? Brilliant. I love that. Who am I? No one important. It doesn't matter who I am. Miracle Mile, when you say sell Chicken Royale, how much you getting? Mate, I wouldn't give you $1 million for him. I think he is awful. I go and watch Dartford play. They're my local club down in the Conference South. And honestly, their fullbacks look like on par with Emerson Royal. DM me, but yeah, we'll sort of stream out. Yeah, Bob, be great. We'll do that together. Going to wrap it up soon. Emerson and Session both not good enough. No, absolutely not good enough in any system. Brian Maguire, what time will you be streaming at? Not sure yet. I'm not sure as and when. I'm not going to try and do a set time because of work and that kind of stuff. One thing for sure, I will not be going back on to Twitter. And I just want to put it out there because I keep getting sent screenshots in my Spurs WhatsApp groups of people going, oh, so and so has said this is your Twitter account, and Savva, is this you? I don't have a Twitter account, and I see lots of real idiots who think they know me because we might have had a row on Twitter before, saying, oh, Savva's lurking about somewhere. I'm not on Twitter. I have no interest. I think the place is disgusting. And yeah, moving on. Sessegnon is a case of a player constantly having injuries in their mind while playing. No, for me, not sorry. He's just not good enough. I just don't think he's good enough, but that's me. I'm not in it out because we do spend money. Look at the players we bought under Paul Mitchell. The scouting department have been the main problem. Okay, let me ask you this. Who employs the scouting department? Just going to leave that with you. Daniel Levy runs the club. He employs the scouting department, and we constantly get it wrong. That tells me he doesn't know what he's doing. I know you had mentioned Conor Gallagher. You were correct on him. He's quality. He's a quality footballer. I would be all over him. Lamptey is injury prone. Yeah, he is. Newcastle United, Liverpool and City will dominate world football. Chelsea, Arsenal, and Man U will get fight top four. Spurs will be a mid-table team. That's the worry if we don't spend. That's the worry. Lamptey would be a great player, but he's injury prone. Yet we've had that. Good shout. But Ken Coutinho had a good couple of games at the start, but has gone missing last couple of months. Is the definition of a purple patch player. Yeah, but Ken, you've got to understand he's playing down at Aston Villa. You put him into a much better team where he's supplying Kane, Son, linking up with Benson Core, Kulusevski, Romero. You see a different player. There's definitely room for a Coutinho in a squad where we don't have name me a player we have with creativity. Anyone, not Kane and Son. Anyone else who's creative? I'll wait. Son, you're still going with the Liverpool thing. Okay, listen, I'm not saying they're not spending off the success, but they're still spending. Every club spends money. Emerson Royal has to go. That is the understatement of the world. Dave Clark, Savva, do you like abroad? Do you mean live? If you're asking if I live abroad, let me ask you why. No, I don't, but why? Liverpool's recruitment is way better than Spurs, for sure. It's not about how much money you spend. It's about the quality of players you buy. Sorry, Dave, I've just seen this. No, I don't live abroad. Can I ask why? I'd be interested to know. Okay, so we get this all the time. Do Conte and Kane stay if we don't make top four? Conte, I don't think will. Kane, I don't think it's his choice. I think we saw that last summer. Kane will stay unless Daniel Levy sells him for 150 million, which I don't think he will. I don't think anyone's going to bid that. So I think he will stay. Okay, so who appointed Paul Mitchell? Right, okay, but Paul Mitchell's not here. Levy's just appointed Paratici, who is renowned for being a top director of football. Okay, so far I've not really seen that he's a top director of football. So I think what's really important is when you look at those 20 years of failure, they're the same owners. So for me, that's the overriding factor. We can talk about a lot of things, but the overriding fact is we haven't won anything. Kulusevski is a creative player, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, I suppose where I'm coming at more from that is centrally, like who can get on the ball and dictate. Kulusevski, Son and Kane can do what they do from these areas here, but in the middle of the park, we've got no one that can put their foot on the ball and create and play through balls. Look, guys, I am going to log off. First of all, thank you very much. I wasn't expecting to get so many people watching. I know it's only 30. I know miles off other people. But look, thank you. I just like talking football. I don't want to be here arguing with anyone. I just want to talk football. And there'll be plenty more shows. I'll do them sporadically. If anyone ever wants me to do a show, just post. And if I'm free, I'll do one and we'll take it from there. But look, can I ask, I don't want to be one of these people, but please, if you could subscribe, that would be great. I'd really appreciate that. And if you could share the video. But I really, really appreciate that. And I'm just going to leave it with, sorry, somebody said, do you think KHD from Leicester would be a good signing for us? Is that Keenan Dewberry Hall? Are you talking about? I think he's a good young player. Him, a good player. I like him. Uh, um, I like that. Big up. Don't like your Spurs boys too much, but Henry writing yourself a solid. Look, guys, I must go. I have work very early in the morning. Much love to you all. You're all very, very welcome. Please subscribe. Please share. I'm sure when you share, lots of people will go, oh, that's Savva twat, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. Let them have their opinion. But look, we've all had a great conversation tonight. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.